very great discussions in the classes and with the teachers. And then, so prom nominations are open for seniors, and ATA fans and PCN fans are doing the students.
And just to give you a little background, I believe I know why everyone's here tonight, to let you know how we got to this point. A few months ago, a district resident asked our superintendent, Stephen Kirkpatrick, to begin an after-school Satan club. Mr. Kirkpatrick responded to that resident in a March 9th letter denying said club request. The resident then requested to have that put on as an agenda item for this month's meetings. That resident did come forward at our committee meeting and present her case, and we as a board decided to bring this forward then for a vote.
I'm a parent that wanted this club and started this club process here at Northern. I wanted to clear up some things that I saw on the internet. And first of all, we are not occultists, and we are not the same as the Church of Satan. We view Satan as a mythical figure who represents individual freedom. The club does not try to convert, does not teach Satan at all. It's really a great club. And I wanted to sympathize with everyone. I understand the fear, the outrage, and I can sympathize with that because that is the same thing I felt when I saw Bible being advertised to my elementary age children. When I looked into the laws and the regulations, I found out that it is not the board's fault that that other program exists. There's nothing they could do about it. And just like in this case, if they vote positively, I would hope that you do not take it on board because they're just doing their jobs. And the fact of the matter is, I called TST to do this program because I believe in the school district. I want to stay in the school district, and if I'm going to stay, I'm going to do everything in my power to try to make it a better place. And the only option that I had left was to start an alternative program to enrich students that was sponsored by another religious organization.
Not a religion. It's not a religion.
I'm not here to debate theology with anyone. That's all I wanted to
Father
clear
of
up.
lies.
Thank you.
Father of
Okay,
lies.
one housekeeping item.
I also read that they are not going to proselytize during this club. That, folks, is not possible. Because if you're teaching a child to not believe in God, that is absolutely proselytizing atheism, which is just as evil as any form of devil worship.
We live in a democracy. We don't live in a theocracy. Our public schools cannot and should not deny a group to use a building unless it is for the purpose of advocating hate or harm.
I'm new to this area. Just moved here. My children are, I have 3 small children, 1 in middle school, 2 in elementary. And they just lost their sister to a suicide website that has been running by a satanic group. They gave her step-by-step instructions and walked her through it. She did it live, blogging, while I was in the next room. So we moved over here. And then here I find out there's an after-school Satan club. And I really just want to keep my kids in cyber school because I don't know what my kids are going to be subjected to now. They just lost their sister to evil, and now they're going to be subjected to evil. They say they're not satanic. It's a Satan club. We have to protect our children. They're vulnerable, elementary school kids. You know, on this website, children as young as 9 years old are on this website that's still running by the satanic group. I just pray and hope that you guys make the right decision. I know that there's going to be legal issues, and they talk about violation of rights, but what about violation of our children?
Amen. You do not like the club and you do not believe in the club, you do not have to sign up for the club. I know that the possibility of, I will sign my children up for it. The world's different. The world is changing, guys. It is. Unfortunately, there's all kinds of craziness out there. This, unfortunately, I do believe that the programs and true values of this club are inherently neutral and good for our children.
Nobody benefits from having an after-school Satan club, whether it be those who are against it or those who are in favor of it, because Satan always does harm all the time. If you have followed them on their website and have read the report about their July 2021 protest at the Dillsburg Cross in Maryland, you would have seen people with black horns raising their horned fingers in the air, shouting, "Hail Satan," and trying to claim the historic peace cross as a satanic symbol. This is not the activity of somebody that believes in just some cute icon. Their outreach to children, very harmless, right? They promote unbaptism. We delete your faith. Destruction ritual, destroy a crucifix and a Bible. Defiance ritual, pledge to challenge the status quo. That's going to go over really well in a school. Black mass, steal a hose from a Catholic church and desecrate it. This is not things that we want for our children.
This group, whatever their mission might be, is directing our children away from God. And in Scripture, we are cautioned of this. Matthew 18:6 says, "If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea."
Amen.
In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. In John 16.
I am in Dillsburg area Free Thinkers, and I do not believe in a superior being. There are 7 fundamental tenets. One should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. 2, the struggle for justice is an ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. 3, one's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. 4, the freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend. To willfully and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forego one's own.
Are you pro-abortion?
5, beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care never to distort scientific facts to fit one's beliefs. 6, people are fallible. Now, what is objectionable about that? And if you want to talk
Everything.
line,
Everything.
don't be standing there all the whole time feeding in. Shut up. Shut up.
Satanism is not a religion. It is an anti-religion because it is anti-God. With this in mind, I have to ask, what is the After School Satan Club's true purpose, and how does it benefit the educational, cultural, and moral formation of children at Northern Elementary? As far as I can tell, at best, the Satan Club exists to go against pre-existing Christian school clubs. At worst, the club really does exist to worship Lucifer in his historical role as an archetypal revolutionary who denies all rules and authority. With that in mind, one of the main tenets of the Satanic Temple is individual sovereignty, which corresponds to the subversive and revolutionary idea that you are your own God. Individual sovereignty means there is no authority higher than the individual. This belief denies the natural law that is written on the hearts of all men that gives everyone a sense of morality and the ability to discern right from wrong. At Northern Elementary School, this tenet would undermine the authority of teachers over their students. It would make test scores obsolete, for if there is no authority higher than the individual, in this case, the individual being the student, then who are the teachers to determine which answers on a test are right and which are wrong? And further, why should students respect their parents if parental authority is deemed oppressive? Ultimately, to deny the validity of authority and therefore law is to promote all sin and all crime. I believe Satan has no rights because evil has no rights. That's right. Some things should not be allowed in schools. For example, it would be wrong to allow a school club for neo-Nazis. It would be wrong to allow a club for student drug dealers. It would be wrong to allow a club that was full of pro-terrorist sympathizers. Adults have a duty to protect children from evil, not expose them to it. Having a program in school where Satan is invoked exposes every child, directly or indirectly, to real harm. Schools exist to educate children, not to serve as a platform for revolution. I urge this school board to preserve the innocence of our children. Programs that scandalize children should be excluded. The devil has no place in school, not now and not in the future. The Declaration of Independence talks about rights that come from God, our Creator. The Pledge of Allegiance proclaims that America is one nation under God. Every coin in our pockets and every bill in our wallets affirm, "In God we trust." Right now, we have a choice to make. We can either remain with God and receive His blessings, or we can open the door to hell and allow Satan, the father of lies, to come in. I hope and pray you make the right choice. Thank you.
That's right. They say that they don't actually believe in Satan as a mythical figure or whatever, but they're making Satan proud every day. Well, they're proselytizing right there. And they finish by saying, "Hail Satan." I hate to tell you this, but if you're saying, "Hail Satan," you're pretty much giving homage to an entity of some kind. Their own words belie their true intentions. And this is how it starts. It starts by something smooth and easy. But if we're going to allow this, are we going to allow the after-school dismemberment club? How about the after-school pyromania club? Where does it stop? On the Dillsburg Facebook page, there is a picture of an individual, I won't name him. When we have horrendous things happen in our schools, as we have had in our nation, we always look back on it, like Columbine or the shooting down in Florida. And we look at the signs, should we have seen this coming? How could we have known? And then you look at their posts and their pictures and you say, we probably should have seen that. I'm looking at a picture of an individual. He's got a gas mask on, he's holding a rifle, he's dressed in some kind of warfare, his eyes are red. And he says this after-school Satan club is a good idea. I don't know, but already we can see, I think every one of us knows who Satan is, whether you believe in him or not. How do you connect anything good with Satan when it comes to our children?
I guess
just have to ask everybody here, if we would have had this conversation 10 years ago, and you thought that you'd be wasting your evening talking about a Satan club in Northern School District, would you believe that? You know, these guys shouldn't even have left in the building, but I guess they're here. You know, I'm sure you guys are probably being coached to take the path of least resistance and allow these demonic lunatics to have a club here in the school district. But I would just ask you to kind of go with your heart, go with your beliefs. You know, it's not always about politically correctness. It's about the right thing to do. I know a lot of you don't have kids in the district, but if you had kids in the district, would you want your kids in elementary school to have the opportunity to go to a Satan club? I can't imagine anybody up there would say yes. You know, the other thing, guys, you got to realize, you know, there's a very high likelihood that they're going to vote that these people get to have a club. Well, what are we going to do when that happens? You know, are we going to sit here and are we going to let it happen like we did the whole mask thing? Or are we going to stand up for once? And are we going to support what we believe in? These guys should run out of town. You know, it shouldn't be a freaking, you know, meeting here. You need to be run out of town. You shouldn't be here. There's no room for you here. So let's remember the energy we have here tonight, guys. If this freaking group does get voted in, let's do something about it.
I'm not interested in trying to decipher a website and figure out what the true intent of a club is when the word Satan is involved. The implication is very obvious. If this passes a vote, I know the threats of mass exodus from public schools stated by many of those before me won't just be threats. Thank you.
That's right.
He's already in our school. He's already here. And if you guys allow something like this, it's just going to get worse. You already have trouble finding staff and keeping staff. If something like this happens and you let Satan in even further, you keep inviting him in and closer to our children, you're going to have even more problems than you can imagine. It's just going to get worse.
When I was in school, we learned words have meaning and words come from somewhere. There's even a study of this called etymology. I would like to point out the etymology of the word Satan. It is Hebrew. It means deceiver, accuser, or adversary. It's derived from a verb meaning preliminarily, to object or to oppose. What are we teaching by allowing an after-school deceiver club, or an after-school accuser club, or an after-school adversary club, or an after-school obstruction club, or an after-school opposition club, let alone its connotations and religious implications already mentioned? I already moved my children by voting with my feet from another school district because of topics taught in their schools. I'm a taxpayer. I would gladly pay my share of a special assessment, and I'm sure others would as well, if needed to cover a potential legal battle, if that needs to be a ramification. I would also should it become necessary. When we voted with our feet prior, my wife made me promise not to have to do that again. Please help me keep that promise.
I had to say something because I do not want to kneel to Nebuchadnezzar. I want it to be known that I stood when everyone else kneeled. And we're reasonable. We're putting the self, worship yourself. This is where it starts. This is why America is in the state that it's in. Because we are worshiping ourselves and not our God. And when we're going to promote this to children, the most impressionable, the youngest, they're innocent. We're going to tell them to worship themselves. Well, how's that working out for everyone? We don't know what, excuse me, almost, what gender are, we don't know biology, we've forgotten basic biology. Woe to any nation that rejects the truth. This is where it starts. It sounds good. This is literally how Satan works. Absolutely. Listen, it's good. Promote yourself. No. It starts here, and I don't want to know where it goes. I didn't do any research about these people because I don't have to. When I hear Satan, I don't think, oh, let me freaking research that and see if that's good or bad. No, I know intrinsically it's bad because God inscribes His morality upon all of our hearts. And I hear, and I'm like, this is bad. We cannot allow this. I don't care about the freaking. I don't care about the freaking laws. Okay? Oh, it's allowed. They're gonna sue us. Oh no, I don't care. It's immoral. It's bad. It's wrong. Oh, it's legal. They're gonna win anyway. It doesn't matter. We have to stand up. If we don't stand up, it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse and worse. Not in my freaking town. I don't have any kids, but nothing would make me happier than to raise children. But I'm not about to let it slip through my fingers that I could have stopped this from happening to other people's children and not do something about it. I am so angry. I've been so stressed, and thank God I only found out about it yesterday. I would have been going crazy for a freaking week. Look, Are you going to protect the children or not? I don't care about the laws. I don't care about the freaking laws. Are you going to protect Dillsburg children or not? I hope you are. I don't know any of you. I've never been to a meeting before. But I should hope you want to protect the children. That is why you're here. You are here to work for the people that put you in those seats and for their children. And their children do not need this. This is the last thing they need.
Excellent, young man.
Thank you so much. I don't know.
Great job, bud.
Mr. President, I move to approve the request of Samantha Groom to establish an after-school Satan club at the Northern Elementary School on a probationary basis.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
You have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Mr. President, I'd like to call a roll call vote to approve letter J.
Will do. That was our plan. Any other discussion? All right, Mrs. Ross?
Mr. Becker?
No.
Mrs. Eichelberger?
No.
Mr. Halaki?
No.
Mrs. Hoveter?
No.
Mr. Kyle?
No.
Dr. McLean?
No.
Mr. Rudy?
No.
Mr. Sechrist?
No.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Okay, that is 1 in favor and 8 against. The motion fails.
So what did you think of the outcome of the meeting?
Appreciate it.
I was pleased with the outcome of the meeting.
Yes. Thank you for being here. It's greatly appreciated.
God bless you.
I've lived here, raised kids here, teach here, and thank you for supporting us.
Were you happy with the outcome?
Yes, yes, sir. The Lord is good. The Lord reigns. I can't even believe somebody voted 1 for yes.
They probably face a legal battle, but God's in control.
It was incredible that the people came out and stood their ground, and we need to stay in our ground.
The fight's not over, right?
No, it's not over. It's not going to be over until Jesus returns, but we're going to win.